Thanks for coming to J&N Travels Podcast with your hosts, John and Nancy.
Hi.
We will discuss everything travel, including cruising, Disney World, other general travel, snowbirding tips, trivia, and other fun things.
Thanks for joining us. Each podcast contains 2 segments with travel information. We also have Nancy's Trivia, travel fun facts, and snowbird tips. We have been getting some questions emailed to us and will answer one question on each podcast. If interested in sending us a question or making up a comment, email us at j&ntravels@yahoo.com. Please check out our J&N Travels Facebook page, J&N Travels merchandise store, our J&N Travels YouTube channel, and visit our podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and Apple. Our information for everything is listed below. We like to start off each podcast with Nancy's Trivia. Nancy, that's me, will give you the trivia questions now, and she will give you the answers towards the end of our podcast.
Nancy, as we get into episode 18 of our podcast, you have dug up 3 trivia questions.
I have.
Which you'll ask now, and then at
Okay.
the end of our video, you'll give the answers.
All right.
So, take it away.
Okay, if you visited Ketchikan, Skagwat, and Juneau on a cruise, which itinerary would you be on?
If you visited Ketchikan, Skagwat, and Juneau on a cruise, which itinerary would you be on? Okay, I know that only because we've been researching it. Number 2?
Yeah. Number 2 is which legendary professional golfer won the first Walt Disney World Professional Golf Tournament?
Which legendary professional golfer won the first Walt Disney World Professional Golf Tournament? Okay, I can make some guesses on that. Probably be wrong.
Number 3, the monorail runs through the lobby of which Disney resort? We know this one.
The monorail runs through the lobby of which Disney resort?
Yeah.
Okay,
Been
we'll
here
answer
many
these
times.
at the end.
Yep.
Thank you. We just completed our Carnival cruise. For our next 2 podcasts, we're going to break down one of our live shows where we talked about our cruise. And we're going to break it up into 4 segments. So in today's show, to start our podcast, we're going to do segment 1 on our Venezia cruise. And the second segment will be part 2. Why we have these masks on? Well, there was a mask that we were told we would be using quite a bit on our cruise.
Yeah.
We'll get into that more, but we never use them.
No.
Except here and there when we decide to wear them ourselves.
Yeah, at the the Italian festival, we thought we were going to use them, but
no, in my
that
case,
did not
I need
happen.
a little bit to read. I need a little bit of glasses on it. So we are just back from our Venezia cruise.
He puts an N in it, but you're not supposed to. Venezia.
This week and 2 weeks from today, we will talk about our cruise. We'll go into a lot of detail. So if anyone's interested in going on it, has questions, wants to make comments, been on it, anything, this is the forum to do it, right, Nitz?
That is, indeed.
So it's cold here.
It's sunny, but it's cold.
And it was 80 when we came home. So that's a big jump from the cruise.
Yeah.
So that's a big jump in the temperature. But let's take a quick hello to the people in the chat, Nance, before we start. We have broken down this cruise in all sorts of subjects, and we'll go through each one. Let's start off with our drive down.
Yeah.
Okay, we like to go to a port if we can that you can drive to. We've been snowbirding in Florida, and kind of our dream is to either hit a cruise before we start our snowbirding in Florida or one at the end of ours, so that we don't have to have a place just sitting there that we rent out in Florida.
Yeah, that would be convenient to do that.
But we haven't done that yet.
No.
But we're still going locally. We'd like to do October for reasons we've mentioned many times before, the off season, and the crowds they should be less, even though this ship sold out.
Yeah, but there were no kids. So there were only a few kids. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was a handful.
Yeah,
so you didn't notice it as much.
Right, you didn't.
Absolutely. So we left from New Hampshire and we drove down to. We actually drove to New Jersey. New Jersey we've done it now 5 times. We have videos out on it. We'll talk about everything that has to do it, but we highly recommend these cruise packages. And I think they do them in Florida. I think they do them everywhere where there's a port.
They're very convenient, yes.
But what it costs you, I had a range of, it was like $300 to $500, depending on what you needed. The package we got was a little over $400 because we needed to have the 12 nights,
right,
or the 14 days, I guess, parking.
Yeah.
What it is you drive down the day before, so we drove down on Friday, and you check into the hotel. They let you park your car there for 12 days. I keep saying 12. The cruise is 12 nights, 13 days. But the actual parking was 14 days.
14, yeah.
So they let you park there for the duration.
And it's monitored by security.
Right. It's monitored. Very nice suite.
Yes, it was very nice. It was quite spacious. They had some extra perks, like when you walked in, they gave you some alcoholic beverage. That was nice.
Yeah, they didn't do that last time. They had like a thing of apples, and you can have a drink each of that.
Yeah, you can help yourself to a green apple, and I think it was with a vodka spritzer.
Yeah, one of those vodka spritzers in a can.
Yeah.
And the units, there was a swimming pool there. There was a gym there.
Mm-hmm.
The room itself was had a huge microwave.
Yeah,
it was an interesting setup. It had a little oversized, not the small refrigerators you usually see in hotels, but a bigger one.
A bigger one, right?
And it had a dishwasher for some bizarre reason.
It was little, like they call it a suite. So they had a dishwasher. Yeah.
So we drove down to New York. It should have taken us 5.5 hours. Took us about 6 hours going down.
Yeah,
coming home's another story in itself.
It was a lovely ride.
7 hours, but
it was a scenic ride. It was really pretty along the Hudson Valley River, but it was a long ride.
Somehow I try and sync my two phones up because it won't get me the way I want to go. I like to go over the Cuomo Bridge.
Yeah.
And I have to do one to set me to the bridge, and then when I get to the bridge, I have to set it to do beyond from there home.
Yeah.
Some reason when I got to the bridge and set the second phone, it took us way inland.
Yeah,
up to Albany, New York.
It was so pretty though. We were traveling parallel to the Hudson Valley, and we went through several adorable towns. And to our surprise, the foliage was still present.
Yeah, Jimmy,
it was so pretty.
Like you're saying, the ride home was beautiful.
It was beautiful. I've never done that before. It was so pretty.
The problem is, since it took us 7 hours, we actually hit snow and some black ice coming from New York through Vermont.
Yeah, that was the negative part, that we were on 9 west of Vermont, coming through the mountain, and as the temperature plummeted, the risk of black ice was present, and you're coming through that mountain range in Vermont. That's scary. I don't like doing that.
The ride home is not bad if you get a direct ride home, but it is. You get off the cruise ship, you want to get home.
You just want to get home.
We always make it longer than it has to be for some reason.
I mean, last year we traveled 9 west through the mountains of Vermont, and that was really scary because we had snow and ice. And I didn't want to do that again. And I'm like, oh no, we're doing this again. Not what I wanted to do. However, I did enjoy going along the Hudson Valley River. That was pretty. That was very, very pretty.
So a drive from southern New Hampshire to New Jersey should take us
about 5 hours.
About 5.5 hours.
Yeah,
took us 6. The package I don't think I completed was, so you get the resort, which you described, the parking. You also get a shuttle going in to the cruise ports, about a half-hour drive, and a shuttle back. That's all included. And
it's nice and convenient.
Breakfast, or hot breakfast, I guess.
And I have to, commend our driver. He got us there safe. It was a nice ride, beautiful vehicle.
We've had the 2 best drivers on this trip that we ever had. Usually they pack us into one of these vans, and it's very disorganized.
It is.
I don't know, 10 to 12 people.
Yeah, a lot of luggage thrown in the back, and 10 to 12 people. This was different.
Since we were going down with friends of ours, Phil and Sue, we were kind of hoping to go together, but this one didn't even give that option. The option was 2 of us per car.
Yeah.
But it worked out to be a lot better because they were there early.
Yeah.
Got us into the cruise. Boy, they drive like I could not drive.
I don't know how they do it. I really don't. I thanked him. I go, thank you for getting us here safe, because they're amazing drivers. Yeah.
And then and then getting back, I thought that was going to be a major hassle, because there you have to cross the main road, go up on 42nd Street, I think it was.
Yeah, it was 42nd Street.
But it worked like a charm. We called them. They were waiting up the top of the road.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
I know in the past we've had to wait.
Booking a package deal.
Yeah, in the past we've had to wait for the van for quite a while.
Right.
But this time it was so convenient, and
so that worked out good. So that whole package deal worked out fine.
Yeah.
I have no complaints about that.
No.
And we got to the ship in time.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, let's see. I'm just saying, look at my little notes here. So the package deal, if anyone's interested in how we go about these package deals, or you want to look up one at the port, just drop us an email. I'll send you some details and some copies of some of the information I have. That'd be the easiest way. That is the drive down. That is the package deal.
Yeah.
Embarkation and debarkation. Okay,
Yeah.
so went almost perfect. Okay, we get dropped off at the terminal at around. Let's see, our time on the ship was 11. I think
I
it was
believe
11,
so.
11:30.
Yeah, I
We
believe
get
it was.
dropped off at 11. Went through it no problem, but there was a delay of 45 minutes.
Oh,
and we were
yes.
told it was because there was a canine dog sniffing for drugs.
Yes, yes.
So that was the only hassle.
Yeah, that wasn't.
We
that
didn't
was
get on
it.
the ship 45 minutes later than we wanted to because of the little doggy. We
Yeah.
never saw the. No, we did see. I saw
We
the guy
did saw
walk the
the
dog
Yeah, I
out at the
saw
end,
it.
right?
I did see it.
But some people claim that these dogs ride on the ship and they do the sniffing at the port, and then they also bring them on the ship. But we didn't see any of these on the
No, we
ship. I
did
think it
not.
was just a New
No.
York port thing. So we that was fine.
Yeah, it was
We get on
fine.
there. We went down to our room and put our bags in our room.
Yeah, our carry-on bags we put in our room.
Which was now around noontime. We
Yeah.
thought they were letting us into our room because the doors were all open. But
Yeah.
he kind of kicked us out.
Yeah.
But he let us put our bags in.
Yeah, he let us put our carry-on bags in, which was convenient.
So that was great. Okay, so that was getting on the ship.
Yeah.
You know, we did that, and then we went up and found something to eat, which we actually found a place that was not advertised, a little
No.
hidden place.
Yeah, we saw people walking around with food, and we followed them, and we found that little area that they were. It was out on the deck, kind of, right?
Well, what happened is they have the places typically. This one was not advertised.
No, it was not.
And it was on the fifth deck, not the top where all the other ones are. And it was, if you're familiar with some of the other ships, like when we were on the Horizon, it's where the piggy, what's that barbecue pig place?
Pig and Anchor.
Pig and Anchor was.
Yeah.
It's right where they do all the trivia.
Yeah.
In that lounge there, or Build-A-Bear, and you go outside. There's no sign. You go outside, and they had kind of set up like the Pig and Anchor, where you could have maybe about 10 different options of food. I think we had a meatball sub and I can't remember some of the chicken and some other stuff.
Yeah, they had some I'm going to say it wrong. Quino, if I said it right, and with that was really good. I had that. That was really good.
And that was our embarkation. The debarkation went just as smooth. This is probably the smoothest we've been on.
I agree with that. Yeah, it was fast.
We took the second to last tags. They do it a little different than we're used to. They just set up a stand. One was outside where the photo shop was, right?
Yeah.
The other one was way up on the fifth deck, and the other one was way up on the 10th deck.
And you just pick your ticket.
And you just grab your tickets, right? So we pick luggage tags for the second to last. I think the last was 11:30, but there weren't enough tickets, so we grabbed 10:30. So we grabbed 10 o'clock. But it was very
smooth,
organized.
Yeah, very organized.
They called them off. They had a full breakfast.
Yeah, we all stayed in the Lido deck. We had our stuff there and just waited to be called, our numbers to be called.
Right. We did the typical where we put the two baggages outside.
Exactly.
This is a little earlier. We're used to them normally picking it up at 11.
Yeah.
This one was 8 to 10. They took them off the ship. We found them with no problem.
No problem.
I've had problems in the past, but these are very well organized.
Yeah, it was very well organized. They had the number of your ticket, and that's where your luggage would be. So, and they were all there. So there's no problem.
So, so we sat there, had breakfast, just sat around talking our long jeans and our long clothes again.
Put our warm clothes on, unfortunately.
They called the numbers, and in that case, we just went down to, they opened up actually a second gangway, remember?
They did.
And the line moved relatively fast.
I thought it was very quick, yeah. I remember on one cruise, I'll never forget it, the line was just winding and so long.
Right.
I don't know what cruise that was, but it was disorganized and it took forever to get off the ship. But this was perfect. This was very organized, well executed.
See, Jimmy says, where on board do these dogs do their business? That is a good question. I've never seen a dog pot, even though there was on the bocce court, there was some fake grass, I guess they could go. We carried our luggage on. I'm going to have to talk to you about that. I'm very curious about that, if that faster to the fun was actually worth it. We really had no issues getting on or getting off.
No, it was perfect.
We got off the ship. When we're in the luggage area, we called the number.
Yep.
Part of the package deal that we did. And the guy he must have they must come in early. They must call and find out when
They have
the
to come
ships
in
are in
early because
harbor.
they were there. We didn't have to wait at
Right.
all. They were already there.
We
Yeah.
figured with cross the street, go up the road, and it'd be an hour before the guy
Yeah,
get there
but
because the traffic was bad
yeah,
that day.
both our friends had their vehicle waiting, and we had ours.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
really nice.
So and they actually coordinated between the two drivers too
They
to make
did.
sure that we're all in the right spot.
Yeah, so it was very quick and convenient. Yep.
So that was embarkation and debarkation services. Okay, on the ship. It's
Yeah.
like the waiters and waitresses.
Yeah.
Cabin steward was fantastic.
Oh yeah, he was fantastic. Yep.
He was very good.
I love all the towel animals, and he left them there so we could enjoy them. So we had a bunch of towel animals all week.
Yeah, I've got about 1,500 video and pictures, and instead of throwing them up during these lives the next 2 weeks, they're going to be in all our videos.
Yeah.
You just support them. Then they have some kind of context.
Yeah,
too.
because in previous cruises they make you a towel animal and they take it away, but he left them for us. I don't know if that's typical of every cabin steward.
Yeah, I've heard some just take them away each night,
and some leave them.
And some leave them.
He left them. He was great. I loved having them.
Yeah, that was really kind of cool.
It was fun.
So he was very good. The restaurants were probably, I don't know, would you say they were the slowest we've ever experienced?
Oh, yeah, they were very slow, yeah.
And they were very nice. And they were very accommodating, but there was definitely a communication gap on their ship.
I mean, you'd ask for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and they'd bring you the cup, and then it took forever to get for them to bring you the tea bag. Then they put the tea bag in your cup, and then it took forever to get you the hot water.
Right. And it was
it's just like,
separate,
come on,
And we're probably missing something at every meal. Some was small, like you wanted honey.
Yeah.
Some were, I'm still waiting for my tomato soup for one meal, and my clam chowder for another meal.
Exactly.
And they just, there was just something there, the little bit of a communication gap going on. But, all in all,
it was good.
It was very good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. We didn't get much from upstairs. I mean, they were helpful when you asked for it. I'm trying to think of what other services we would have had to have. But for the most part, it was very slow, but they were very personable.
Yeah. I mean, when we had dinner with our friends, that meal was so long. And, we didn't miss a show or anything. It didn't cause any problems. We didn't miss a show because of it.
Jimmy said with the Fast of the Fun, they got on right after Platinum and Gold, and then during debarkation, we were one of the first ones off the ship.
Oh,
now nice. I don't know if any of your ports. I guess another advantage of that is if you have tended ports, you get the first tendeds out. I'm not sure if you had any islands you had the tended to Jimmy. He said we were also able to get into our cabin quicker.
Oh,
so it sounds like you felt it was worth it, Jimmy. I'll have to talk to you when I. All right, next on our list is the food. The biggest thing I had read about doing my research ahead of time was the buffet. What a mess the buffet was. And it did kind of surprise me. I didn't find it as bad as a lot of people did, but that was because we kind of got the timing down to a setup.
Yeah.
If you go up there at the beginning, there's a long line right around the corner at different times. We would always stagger it and go later.
The only time that I was frustrated is when we got off to go, to the beach, and I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat anything, and by the time I get back on the ship, I'm really, really hungry because it's after 1:00, and then it's frustrating to have to wait in a long line like that to get your food. But
right.
That's the only negative.
Well, the thing is, we had gone on 2 carnivals before this one, and I think this is the way that this ship was designed. Because of course, they just bought this from Costa, is it?
Yes, Costa.
Costa, and they didn't do anything with the buffet area. There was plenty of room because I checked this out, took pictures. There's plenty of room that they could have easily modified it a little, and I wouldn't think it'd be that big a deal. What they do is they have the salad bar, and if you just want one item down the end. You've got to wait in the whole salad bar to go down. And of course, there are people that, pick out each carrot.
Yeah. I was getting so frustrated because and then
there's a gap between the salad and the hot food, which you think you just cut in. That's what you do in other ones if they just swung that out a little.
Yes.
But people would get very, if you did that even for one item, a lot of people would get very offended with that and put out, we waited in line too, and that whole thing. So it's just a terrible setup. Yeah. It really is. And it's very fixable. I'm not sure why they haven't fixed it now after 4 months, but that was a big issue with the layout of the buffet. Now the The food on the buffet was good.
Yeah, it was good.
I still think Connell's food and selection is a notch below.
I agree.
Royal and Disney and NCL.
Yeah.
They have a great looking. It's called the Sweet Spot, which they have all different cakes, gorgeous cakes.
They are gorgeous.
But we all found that the cakes started to taste the same.
I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't taste any different from the other cake I tried. Yeah, I do love the Carnival cheesecake, but they only offer that the first day, and then it's gone.
Right. Jimmy says, yes, we had special loading tenders and customer service lines at the service desk. So yes, it's worth it. So they liked it.
Oh,
good. They enjoyed it. Yeah. So that was a buffet. We did go there. We have a system that we eat at the earliest seating we can at the sit down.
Yeah.
And then before the buffet closes at night, we always check it out to see if there's something they sneak on
definitely.
there that wasn't on the main seat, in which we always find something. Unfortunately,
we really enjoyed the Sea Day brunch. The steak was delicious. It was a little better than the last cruise.
Yeah, that was a big issue. The Sea Day brunch we loved
it.
All 3 Carnival cruises that we took in the last year.
Very, very good.
But on the Horizon,
for some reason,
there's a lot of gristle. It was a tougher piece.
Yeah, the quality wasn't as good. So the quality of steak was better.
Well, it was everything from the steak we had at the Sea Day brunch, to the steak we had at the main dining room.
Yeah, that was good.
To all the special steaks,
yeah, all the special. Like we
beef
enjoyed
Wellington.
That beef Wellington was really, really good.
All the steaks were good, and the big thing with them, they were right on the nose. We got medium rare.
They cooked it perfectly.
Every single steak we had was right on the nose.
It was very good.
We do not do the specialty restaurants, so we won't even talk about those.
No, we don't do specialty. I miss the gelato and the cotton candy. I really enjoyed that on the Horizon. They didn't have that. You had to pay for it. You had to pay for the gelato.
Well, that was different.
And they didn't have cotton candy.
Right. Every day for lunch on the previous 2 cruises on Carnival, they had the gelato and 2 different flavors a day.
Yeah, I loved it.
At the lunch and the cotton candy.
Yeah, it was great.
This one,
no, not so
they
much.
had the soft serve, which was decent. I thought it was good this
year. I had it. It was.
And they had some hard ice cream that you could get, of course, at the main dining. But the flavors were very limited.
They were.
It wasn't a lot of different flavors. And the gelato, like you said, that you had to pay for if you wanted.
Yeah, I wasn't real impressed with all the desserts, especially the cakes. But at the sit-down dinner, the desserts were good, the ones that we got. Of course, the lava cake is always a favorite. But they didn't have as much creme brulee as I would have liked to have had.
See, that didn't bother me, because if they had all that, we'd be eating it.
I know, that's
true. Every sit down, there was special dessert that was unique.
Yeah.
Going around with some of the restaurants. Okay, we do contemporary restaurants. The include restaurants.
Yeah.
So the main dining room service is very slow.
Yeah.
We thought it was very good.
Yeah.
We thought it was good, but the quality of food was decent.
Quality of food was decent. Yeah.
We that was the one, we were in the one that had the gondola. You see
that
the
was
picture.
So pretty, yeah.
And it's a beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful
restaurant.
The whole ship is beautiful.
A key, if you want to be in the restaurant with the gondola, then do the anytime dining.
Yeah, it was called the Canal Restaurant.
In the Canal, Grand Canal.
Grand Canal, yeah.
So that was very good. They had their little, maybe every other night they had their little show. They do the dancing, the waiters and stuff like that. So that was about every other night.
So what you do on your phone, you tell them exactly what when you are going to want to eat your dinner, and then they text you saying it was ready.
Yeah, and this was a little bit different than the other one, because you type in that you want it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give you a reservation or a time. It just says less than 10-minute wait or less than 20 minutes. I think the longest we had was a 50-minute wait. All right, so the main dining room's adequate.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, there was a wait, but
the food itself.
Oh, the food, I would give it that.
A decent selection. We always found something.
Yeah.
The place we ate the first day, that very small restaurant on the 5th deck, was a nice little way if you wanted to sneak off and get I think they only opened, some of the restaurants, they only open on sea days. Okay, that was one. The other one that is only sea days is the seafood place, which is a charge. On sea days, we caught them a couple times serving Chinese food.
Yeah.
And it was decent.
but it wasn't there all the time. It was only a couple
No.
days, and it wasn't every sea day. Also, the sea day brunch was only on sea days. Let's see, what are some of the other restaurants we had? The pizza place was open all day.
Yeah, the pizza was really good as usual. I mean, I found that they were really good on the Horizon. However, the line wasn't as long on this.
And that's because they finally, I don't know
Yeah.
why it takes some of these cruise lines so long to do
Yeah,
fix the obvious, like the buffet.
right.
Biggest complaint I've ever heard of Convo, and we hadn't sailed it in over 20 years, was because there's no food open after
No,
certain
it's
time
the
except for
only
the pizza price.
right. So naturally, it's going to cause a long line. Everybody's going to go there.
And when we went there in October, it was the line after 11, and of course everyone's getting out of the clubs and
Yeah.
shows after 11, wrapped around the deck for
Oh
pizza.
yeah,
It was
so
the most
long.
ridiculous
It
thing.
was ridiculous. Yeah. So
And
they remedied that.
so what they've done, I think it was less than a month ago, they added what they call late night snack.
Yeah.
And that really took a lot of people out of the line from the pizza. And the
Yeah.
midnight snacks were decent.
Yeah, they were.
There was a nice little variety. They had
Yeah.
some salad. They had some deep dish feature if you like the thicker
Yeah,
pizza. So you
that's
could get it
right.
right there instead of going outside.
Yeah.
Pizza, some dessert type stuff.
Mm.
We'll show that later on in the video. But that was that was decent.
That was a much needed improvement.
Right.
Let's put it that way, because that was ridiculous. Those long lines.
So that added to the nighttime, made that more pleasant.
Yeah, it did.
Let's see, what other complimentary ones were there? There was the pasta bowl.
Yeah, that was delicious. I really enjoyed that.
We planned on hitting this several times. We only hit it once.
Yeah, we only hit it once.
I wish we hit it more.
It was really good.
What they do is they turn the
Excuse me.
Marco Polo restaurant into a pasta bowl, they call it.
Yeah.
And it's served, what would you say, 6 or 8 different kind of pasta type of bowls. Like I had the fettuccine Alfredo with mushroom and chicken, which is delicious.
Yeah.
And you had the
I just had the spaghetti and meatballs, and the meatballs were excellent. It was delicious. The sauce was so good. The meatballs were good. I could have gone for another bowl of that.
Well, and that was a big difference.
I wanted to, but we never made it back.
That was a big difference. So with the meatballs on
really
the Horizon, I thought they were horrible.
They were really good.
And they were very good on this ship.
They were.
Now it is supposed to be Italian themed.
I know,
So I don't
they
know if
were
that
good.
adds
I
to it.
don't
They have
know.
more Italian cooks in there or not.
I really liked them. I mean, being all Italian and having homemade meatballs growing up and homemade sauce, I thought it was excellent. I was very impressed by that spaghetti and meatballs.
Right. And of course, you have the deli.
Yeah, the deli was good. I got my Reuben, and I had heard last year, because I didn't get a Reuben last year, that people were complaining about they didn't put enough corned beef in the Reuben sandwich. But it was delicious. It was done perfectly, I thought. I wouldn't
on this one, where you had issues with lack of meat on the back on the Horizon.
Well, I didn't get a Reuben on the
I
Horizon.
thought you got
No, I
one.
didn't get
Okay.
one. I heard people saying before
Okay.
I went on the Horizon that they were complaining that they didn't give enough corned beef in the Reuben sandwich, and that if you were going to order a Reuben sandwich, just ask for double corned beef. But I thought they did it perfectly. I thought it was well done. It was delicious. I didn't need extra meat at all.
And the buffet itself, which we get in, they had a decent variety.
Yeah.
And you catch your nights, like we love the shrimp on a skewet.
Yeah.
They've had that the
good.
very first and the very last night.
I would like for them to have more bacon, but it's probably not good for us. But we enjoyed our bacon.
Well, the bacon they have, for some reason, they're on it every other day. with
every other
bacon.
day. Yeah.
The two things we got a kick out of that we're making jokes about the whole thing is bacon and butter. Must have been worth their weight in gold on this ship. Because
you would have to ask for butter.
every single time the rolls we ask for butter, you'd have a tray of it out back and it'd be sliced thin in these little
really
tin cups,
thin,
and you'd need 2 of these tin cups for one roll. And, but you had to ask every single time.
I know they used to give you, like, I think in previous cruises, you got the whole pad of butter. You'd have to unwrap it. It was nice and thick, but this was very.
I can understand trying to get rid of a lot of those things, trying to get rid of the waste.
Yeah,
so
I
put
can
it in
understand
there.
that.
But maybe cut the thickest slices. Maybe have them right out there with the rolls.
Yeah.
And that and the bacon, like you said, was every other day.
Yeah. But they cooked it well. It was very good, and I liked it. And
so there was the deli.
Yeah.
There was the buffets. There was the main dining room.
Yeah.
the restaurant on the 5th floor, that little
Oh, and
takeout
I
place.
have to say, I absolutely love Guy's Burgers. I wasn't as impressed last year on the Horizon. I don't know why. I had a Guy's Burger and it was okay, but boy, the Guy's Burger, it was really, really good. I really enjoy the Guy's Burger.
We did enjoy it more.
Yeah.
I didn't get any last time. I tasted one, but I didn't get any last
Yeah.
time. And this time we had it 3 or 4
Yeah,
times.
we had
during
it
the
was
cruise.
so good. Yeah, so I enjoyed that.
That was tasty,
It was very
and they
good.
have. We did not get anything from the. Is it Tomodoro or something?
Yeah, I
think?
wanted to, but you know, I have.
So we didn't. So we
Yeah.
get nothing there.
Yeah,
So I really can't
never
tell you.
made it over there.
It's supposed to be a little bit of a twist where they throw some Italian stuff into
Yeah.
Mexican stuff.
Yeah.
When we went on other ships, the Mexican part had where you could get that cheese sauce.
Oh
and you could
yeah,
get the
that's
beef,
right.
and
Yeah, because
they
you made
didn't
a
have
steak
that
and
option.
cheese sandwich one time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Right, and they really didn't have that option this time. So
Yeah.
we avoided that. We didn't go to that much. Let's see, Guy's Burger.
Yeah, that
was
was
there
so
anything else
good.
I'm missing as far as complimentary restaurants for
I
the
don't
lunch?
think so.
They had a couple of times you'd have to catch it right and look on your daily where they would have the main dining room open for lunch
Yeah.
with a certain theme. Like I remember once was Mexican food, another time was it was Asian food or something else. So you keep your eyes open for that. That's I only saw that like for different things once or
Yeah.
twice. So
And I did enjoy the lobster. I missed the first lobster night because it was elegant night and I was under the weather. So I stayed in the cabin and I was a little disappointed. I missed my lobster, but they had it again on the second elegant night. So that's when we got the lobster and the beef Wellington, I think. But it was really good. It was really, really good.
was it the last 2 meals we said were
Yeah,
the best?
the last two meals
the
were the
steak,
best.
the thick pieces. It was
Yeah.
steak. It
The
wasn't
shrimp.
filet mignon, but it tastes
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, the
You
shrimp.
had the
and
shrimp, the beef Wellington, the lobster tail. Everything was scrumptious.
And we were surprised because they had 2 lobster tail
Yeah,
nights.
I was
That very
surprised. I
surprising.
thought for sure I was going to miss out on my lobster because I missed the first night, but I made up for it.
Right.
So that was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
And of course, they have the two limit,
Yeah.
meal limit.
Yeah.
So you could do if you just want lobster was the two lobster tails.
Yeah, well, it was really good though.
So I think that covered all the complimentary type of stuff. If anyone has any questions, just ask us that. The mask here. Why do we wear these masks? Nancy, the Super Bowl, the day I love to sit around, is right around the corner.
It is.
And when we were talking about this, you decided to pull out some very interesting Super Bowl facts.
Yes,
So
I
could you
did.
share that? And I think you got 11 of them?
Yes.
Okay, could you share those with us?
So number one, there are 25 steps to making a Super Bowl ball, and they are crafted by hand. They're all crafted by hand.
That's
Wow.
interesting. I never would
Yeah.
take that.
Number two, each team gets 108 balls. Half are used for practice, half for games. That's a lot.
I know.
They're all crafted by hand.
You'd think you'd have that for a baseball game, not a
Yeah.
football game.
I know. Number three, every player gets a car for the week before the Super Bowl. That's nice.
Did not know that.
Number four, tickets cost thousands of dollars, but in 1967, guess how much they cost? They cost
$20?
$6.
$6 for a Super Bowl ticket? Oh, that's right.
Holy moly. Number five, halftime performers do not get paid.
Now that shocks me.
That doesn't
I
make
wonder if that's
sense.
still the norm.
I don't know.
Some of these artists out there, I can't picture them doing this for nothing. They don't need the publicity. So.
Yeah, I don't get that one. Number six, the cost of a 30-second commercial cost over $6 million. Wow. Number seven, 8 million pounds of guacamole is consumed on Super Bowl Sunday.
It's an interesting one. Now you think they do chips or something like that?
Oh, boy.
Pretzels.
It's a lot of guacamole. Wow. Number
8, you're in?
Oh, yeah, number 8. 14,500 tons of chips are eaten along with the guacamole.
Okay, they did have a chip fact
yes,
then.
They
Okay.
did, yeah. Just don't eat guacamole.
That's tons, though.
Yeah, you just don't eat guacamole with a spoon.
I guess not.
You got to put it on a chip.
Tons. Holy cow.
I know. Number 9. Of the top 10 most watched America television programs of all time, 9 of them are the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I used to see that when they would get the ratings. And
Yeah.
Amazing how many of those are up the top 10.
Number 10, Super Bowl in 2010, unseeded MASH series final as the most watched show in television history with over 106.5 million watchers.
I remember when the MASH finale came on, it was the
Wow.
biggest one of all time, and I guess it held that record to 2010, you're saying.
Yeah, so until the Super Bowl took it away.
Right.
Okay, number 11, Super Bowl 49, Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots was the most watched sporting event in U.S. history. Over 114 million people tuned in.
That's from back when my Patriots were a good team.
Yeah.
That was a fun Super Bowl. Okay, great
Yeah.
stats there, Nancy.
Okay.
We'll just wait for Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you.
Wait. Follow John and Nancy from j&N Travels as they snowbird in Florida for the winter months. The Crystal Arts is a shop located at Disney Springs near the Rainforest Cafe. The shop houses many Disney-themed pieces of art, including crystal decorations, glass, statues, and jewelry. There is also a large glass replica of Cinderella's castle and a glass blower that makes beautiful art right in front of you.
Why are we wearing the mask? Well, we'll tell you in part 2. Part 2, segment 2 coming up.
The mask here. Why were we wearing these masks? All right.
Yeah.
There was a big push on this being an Italian theme. And
Yeah.
Well,
it's Carnival
Italian.
Italian style. Right. It says Carnival Italian style. Everything was Italian style.
But they didn't go overboard. We had heard it was this big festival and this big captain scene and everyone wears masks.
Yeah.
Well, we went to the festival. There was one couple with a mask.
Yeah, that was it.
And they disappeared after a while.
Yeah.
We went to the captain's, which we'll talk about later, but we went to the captain's cocktail party.
That was nice.
No one was wearing the mask.
But that was lovely, though. That was really nice.
There was a couple other things that we thought we'd wear the mask. We had them in our bag. We didn't wear them, and people didn't wear them. So
we wore them to dinner one night, so we can get some use out of it.
We wore them to dinner. Wore them, I think. Did we put them on Halloween? I don't think we did that for Halloween.
Yeah.
And so we're getting the most use right here in this 45 minutes that we've gotten, that we've ever gotten.
But back to the Italian festival, boy, that was very nice. I mean, all the food that they, presented, it was really nice.
Well, if you're talking about food, okay, that's
I liked it all.
That was supposed to be, and I have it actually in our next category. We'll talk about the roof, but they had the Italian festival up on the top deck. They had the roof open.
Yeah.
It was raining.
Yeah.
Everyone was seated. Everyone was there.
Yeah.
So they moved everything down inside. So we never got down inside to see that. Then they moved it back up to serve the food.
Right.
So we were there for the food. They just brought, I don't know if we got all that food because people didn't want to switch back from the festival earlier.
There was so much food.
Deck.
Yeah.
But they just kept on bringing over samples of food.
Yeah, they were all so good. I liked everything that I got.
So that was a nice lineup for the festival.
Yeah.
But that was about all we got. We got it split.
Yeah.
In fact, probably the last category, we'll have to pick the rest of these up, of course, on the next show.
I don't think they did anything special other than the food. Like they didn't play Italian music.
They
or
did
anything.
though. That's the thing. Oh yeah, they had a whole lineup. The seating was, the whole deck was set up with seats, and they were all taken. And they were supposed to do a whole lineup. They had all these 15-minute slots. They had the violinists were going to do Italian music.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
There was like 6 or 7 things that were supposed to go, and then they were going to serve. They had a gelato eating contest.
Yes, that's right.
They had some other contests, and then they were going to go into all the sample food.
Okay.
Well, they moved all the other stuff downstairs.
Yeah. So
and then they came back up for the sampling. So we get to taste the food because we were still sitting there.
Yeah, we didn't move. Right. That's right.
But I didn't see a lot of other people come back up again.
No.
So I think what happened was they just had so much. It was just
food. Yeah, because they kept passing it on to us, and we were sampling everything, and everything was very good.
In fact, that'll be the last section that we'll talk about today is the ship design and the roof. And then we'll pick up next time on beyond that on the where we start with the islands and the entertainment stuff like that. So talking about the design of the ship, they bought this ship, they redesigned a lot of it. I thought, now I don't know how this original theater was designed, but they
Yeah.
have the worst theaters on the Carnival, last 3 Carnival ships we went on.
Yeah.
The visibility points were terrible.
Yeah.
You either had the pole in your way,
Yeah.
and even if you had a clear seat on the top level, you had a bar going
Yeah,
across,
it
a
wasn't
thick wooden
designed
bar.
very well. Yeah.
If you were on the side, you couldn't see when they had game shows. You couldn't
No,
see
you
half the
couldn't.
stage. You couldn't see
Yeah.
the people
I
playing.
find that if I just got out of my seat and just stood in the back of the theater, I could see everything.
And
I
that-
ended up doing that.
And that's what I ended up doing for videotaping. I just
Yeah.
stood in the hallway
Yeah.
and took pictures.
Yeah, because couldn't find a suitable seat.
Right. So the main theater is terrible. I
Yeah.
don't know if that was the
It's
same.
very pretty though, but it's
But it was the
poorly
same design
designed.
as on the other 2
On the
Carnivals. So I'm
horizon.
assuming they redesigned it, and that's not the cost of design. I don't know
I
that.
don't know.
We noticed they did a lot of the stuff walking through the ship. They modified the inside to look like some of the other Carnival ships. I'm not sure why they didn't leave the theming alone. But saying that, I thought the most wonderful part of that was that square, which is a Lido deck in the
Yeah.
Italian theme.
That was pretty. The pool was pretty too. It was a good sized pool, and they had the fountain in between, in front of the pool. That was really pretty.
Very nice pool.
Yeah.
They had the some balconies so you could sit up on the
Yeah,
top deck
that
and
was
look down
nice.
on it. They
Yeah.
had the giant TV screen.
Yeah, I like that. And that area where you can get books and games and
Like a library, yeah.
like a library. And they had very comfortable chairs. It was very cozy up there.
And the other thing, which was which we'll talk about more when we get to the sports and stuff, they had an indoor area up there which had a bocce court.
Yeah, that was
I didn't
fun.
think we'd ever get near it because it's just real cold. We played
Yeah.
many bocce games, foosball, ping pong,
Yeah.
and Chinese checkers were
Yeah.
in that one area.
Yeah.
And that was wonderful.
That
And we
was really
played-
fun.
We could play cards. The big complaint I have, what's a positive and a negative, I think every ship on the East Coast should have a retractable roof.
Oh, I agree.
I
Yes.
expected this to be a very small roof that barely covered the Lido deck. It was a roof that came and covered a complete Lido deck.
Covered the whole deck.
The problem is they don't know when to shut it and when to open it.
Oh my God! Halloween night, we were roasting.
Well, it was 80. It was 80
That
degrees.
was so hot.
It's 80 degrees when we left New York,
Yeah.
and they had that open almost whole day. Before they
Yeah.
left, they shut the roof,
They
which
shut
was
it.
smart because now they could do things for the 3-day trip
Yeah.
down to the Caribbean.
Right.
You could do stuff indoors, but you
Right.
could swim right off the bat. Previous cruises we have taken from New York, you weren't able to swim. It was so
Yeah, it
cold.
cold.
So that was all great.
Yeah.
Then we get down to the Caribbean, and they left the roof shut, and they had the Halloween night.
Oh my God.
There were I was in shorts, a
I mean,
t-shirt.
people are in costumes and they were sweating.
Well, I was in a t-shirt and shorts, and
Well, we didn't dress
I was
up.
hot.
Yeah.
There were people, like Nancy said, in full costume.
Yeah.
There were so many complaints that twice they had to come up and make an announcement on the stage that they could not open the roof because it was a beautiful night, because the roof cannot be opened while the ship is moving. It has
Yeah.
to be in port to
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
Well, we found out that was a little bit of a crock too. So
and another thing
everyone
is,
kind of bought that
yeah.
until the return trip, and the roof was open when we left the last island port.
Yeah, right.
And the next morning when we woke up, it was closed when we were heading to New York. Now, you need it closed from New York,
Yeah.
and I thought they had to close in the port. So I went up to one of the employees at the pool, and I said, "Can you straighten this out?" I said, "I was told that this roof could not be shut or open unless it was in port." She said,
Yeah.
"Well, I don't know where you heard that from, but they can do it anytime they want. But what they have to do is they have to stop the ship in the ocean. They can't be moving
It can't be moving. so it's gotta be-
because the roof can shift."
yeah, that makes sense.
Right, which makes
So
perfect
they could have
sense.
just stopped it. And
Right,
opened
so they
it.
could have done that before they did the Halloween thing,
Oh,
and they also could have just shut the roof on the last Caribbean port because
Yeah.
there was no need to have it open and then stop it in the middle of the sea and shut it for New York. But that roof was unbelievable. I mean, you could just do anything. The last 3 days going to New York, we were swimming.
Yeah, it
We
was
were,
nice.
and there was stuff going on. We're out watching
it was-
football games on
was
the big
fun.
TV screen.
Yeah, and speaking of TV screen, I wish they put like the Halloween party. I wish they would put that up on the big screen when they would, making the calls for best costume and stuff because you couldn't see. There was so many people there. I wish they would put that on the big screen so we could all see.
They can't. What she's saying is the camera angles. They for certain things they did it so we know it was possible.
Yeah.
And technology should be pretty easy, but they did not shine cameras. They could have had cameras and shown on the big screen of stuff, different contests.
Yeah, they had the
pumpkin
carving contest that they didn't put up on the big screen. Yeah, that would have been nice because I really, unless you were sitting up front, you couldn't see very well.
So that really added to it. So on that note, we'll leave off with this one. We'll pick up with the islands, entertainment, organized activities, sports, and so forth. As we get to the end of this episode, Nance, it's time for you to give the questions and answers for your trivia.
So number 1 was, if you visited Ketchikan, Skagwat, and Juneau on a cruise, which itinerary would you be on? I think Juneau gives it away.
If you visited Ketchikan, Skagwat, and Juneau on a cruise, which itinerary would you go on? But even Ketchikan now, I've heard that name so much lately.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, it's your bucket list, Alaska.
This is my Alaska bucket list. Right. Someday, God willing, yeah. Okay, so the Alaskan cruise, right?
Right.
Okay, so number 2, which legendary professional golfer won the first Walt Disney World Professional Golf Tournament? I have no clue on this one.
I could have some guesses, but I don't embarrass myself. What was the answer?
Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, he's one of my two.
He must be retired now. He's going to be older, right?
He is. Okay, and the last one?
The monorail runs through the lobby of which Disney resort?
Since we resort hop at least 2 or 3 times every time we go to Disney, resort hop is when you sit on the monorail and follow it around through all the hotels. And we go through this hotel.
Yeah.
We usually pick it up in Polynesian and end it by going through the Contemporary Resort.
Contemporary. Love it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And see, as we come to the end of the show, we go into the little mail slot and pick out a question from a listener. If anyone's interested in asking us any questions, personal, travel, or otherwise, just email us at j&ntravels@yahoo.com. And today's question is, what is our favorite Disney snack?
Yeah.
So many of them, huh?
There are so many.
Our most recent one was the, how do you pronounce it? Beignets?
Beignets.
Beignets,
yeah,
right?
Those are
over
good.
Port Orleans.
Yeah.
We had those when we were
when we
walking
met
around.
Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry walking around the resort.
Yeah.
So, what's yours? I'll go with you first.
Well, I'm going to go with the Disney, the smoked turkey leg. 2 years ago, we got my son got one and we shared it. It was absolutely delicious, although it was more expensive than I ever remembered it to be. I think it was like $18.
And I don't know if technically it qualifies now as a snack. When we first got it, it was like $3.
Oh, yeah,
remember?
it was $3 or $4. Yeah, I remember years ago. So he wanted that. We told our children they can, get any snack they wanted. So he chose the turkey leg, and it's big. So I had some because he couldn't finish it. And it was like, I don't know, I think it was between 14 and 18. I don't remember exactly.
They're expensive now. They're like a full meal.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were that much, but they might
have
been.
I think I kind of remember it being like 14 maybe. It was somewhere.
It's fine. Usually we're on the same level, but the total opposite on this with you. I used to absolutely love them to death, like you said, but I thought when we had that last one, the quality had gone way down and there was an aftertaste in it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
And it could have just been me. Maybe it was me that did my taste, but it's funny.
No, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, and he did as well. It was really big.
My favorite snack, I'm known as the guy who loves slushy, so it still has to fall back on the Dole Whip. A long time favorite of mine, and still have to get a couple of those when we're down in Florida.
Our daughter got a Dole Whip for her snack, and then she got one of those. What was it called?
Like a funnel cake.
Funnel cake. Yeah, she enjoyed that.
Okay, so yours is a turkey leg, and mine is the Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for coming to J&N Travels Podcast.